Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Hey, man. Yo, this BLK Prime, yo, what is going on? These guys are swooping in like the zone, aren't they? Adrien Broner just signs a 3-fight, eight-figure deal with BLK Prime. Terence Crawford fighting in this December. Terence Crawford getting $10 million for one fight. People, PBC, Showtime, these other networks, hey, they don't want to sign this talent. It's amazing how stars line up for people, isn't it? For the most part, Terence Crawford, no matter if you're a Spence fan or not, man, people turn their back on Terence Crawford. You know, no one doubted his ability, but people turn their back on him. He's a liability, high risk, hard to work with, unreasonable expectations. You lose money on him. Okay, lawsuit with Bob Arum. All these things people were saying, and you know, some truth to it. Okay, let's just be real. There's some truth to it, but nobody want to work with him. Can kind of understand, you know, but at the same time, is what it is. Then his BLK Prime name comes up. You know what I'm saying? Terence Crawford, $10 million. All right. So now he's like, whatever. Earl Spence still trying to figure it out. What's he gonna do? Adrien Broner. Now we can all understand why nobody wants to work with Adrien Broner. Long handle spoon him, you know. He just like abused opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, you know, verbally assaulted so many of the hands that were feeding him, you know. Didn't take care of himself inside the ring, outside the ring. And his career was in a downward spiral. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, Adrien Broner signs a 3-fight deal. 3-fight, 8-figure deal. He has to fight all 3 fights in a year, is my understanding. With BLK Prime. Now, for those of you who wonder about this BLK Prime platform, right? How are these guys able to pay these fighters this kind of money? I'm going to tell you something, right? This is what I'm realizing. They cut out the middleman. Okay? Now, this is the thing. Remember when Oscar left Bob Arum, Oscar started making a lot of money. When Floyd left Bob Arum, Floyd started making a lot of money. Miguel Cotto, he started making a lot of money. When all of these fighters start to leave promoters, right, and they're operating independently or on a fight-to-fight basis or whatever they're doing, but when they're able to get rid of the promoter who's there sucking a large percentage of their fight purse, right, and everyone else who's involved, okay, you notice that these fighters start making real money. So when you look at Adrien Broner and Terence Crawford, my understanding is you have the fighter, okay, and then all these people in the middle who take a piece. And then at the bottom, it kind of is what it is, right? But all those guys in the middle who taking a piece, okay, they're out of the picture. And that is how this BLK Prime is able to sign these contracts with these guys. Now, I'm not sure of all the intricacies surrounding the contract. I'm sure pay-per-view numbers have to hit a certain number and everything like that. I'm sure there are goals they have and projections, and these guys, again, they're working the metrics, okay? They have someone there who's done the analysis, man, and who's gone out there and crunched the numbers to see realistically, you know, what can we afford to pay these guys and what's the level of risk we're willing to take. What have they shown in the past they've been able to do when it comes to pay-per-view? Now, I'll tell you this. Terence Crawford, I'm not saying he's a pay-per-view draw, but he should be able to sell 100,000 pay-per-views, okay? Adrien Broner should be able to sell 100,000 pay-per-views, okay? So when you look at that, and what are they doing, like $40, okay? That's a lot of money. Now, You don't have to give that to somebody. That's an even bigger deal, okay? And that's what makes it so interesting. So let's just do that real quick, right? And that's what is blowing my mind. So you figure if they do at $40, 100,000 pay-per-view buys, which they should, that's an easy 4 million, okay? Now, it almost sounds to me like what they're planning on doing is putting these guys on pay-per-view on their streaming platform. They're planning on selling X amount of having X amount of pay-per-view sales, and then using that to bridge the gap on whatever guarantees or ticket sales or whatever they have there available to bring it together to give these guys whatever the contractual agreement. But I'm sure there's a performance standard or performance metric that has to be met to ensure they get these numbers. That being said, it's still a lot more money than what they would be getting if they had the promoter involved. And this is kind of what Crawford wants and needs, kind of what Broner wants and needs. Broner is so lucky to be in this position. According to Broner, he no longer has $13 in his bank account. So the man's rich all over again. But the uniqueness of this is we got to wait and see if it works out, okay? I'm still not too sure how it's all going to work out, but that's just me kind of thinking outside the box. How are they going to be able to pay these guys? That being said, it almost reminds me of like when DAZN hit and Eddie Hearn and, you know, the big wallet and checkbook. We know Eddie Hearn, remember I did a video on this. Eddie Hearn was going up to fighters with a briefcase full of money, trying to lure them away from PBC and from other promoters. You guys didn't know that? Go watch the video I did on that. Eddie Hearn and the Mystery Briefcase is the title of the video. That's what Eddie Hearn was doing. But we know DAZN came in and they picked up a whole lot of fighters that were B, C level, gave them a lot of money. They were trying to get to A level fighters and they just couldn't get them. You know, those guys were loyal to PBC, loyal to their promoters. They weren't leaving and going over. But long story short, they came in with that money, made a little noise. Once Canelo Alvarez went over, people were going over, but when Canelo went over, people started paying attention. But now you look with this BLK Prime thing, it's kind of the same thing. Terence Crawford. And now they're like, okay, Terence Crawford signed with these guys. What? He's making what kind of money? Okay, let me look into it. Now Adrien Broner's going over. What? Somebody get this man an 8-figure deal for 3 fights? A washed up Adrien Broner where they didn't even want to give him $1,500,000? Got to pay attention. So now, word is, Gervonta Davis, 3-fight deal, $60 million. That's the rumor. Okay, now, we know Gervonta Davis, man, you know, trouble in paradise. Him, Floyd Mayweather, Leonard Ellaby, PBC, Showtime. And I couldn't imagine Gervonta Davis not taking a 3-fight deal, $60 million guarantee. Now, we know Eddie Hearn, if Gervonta Davis is really leaving Mayweather, if he's really leaving PBC, if there's really a deal on the table for 3 fights at $60 million, we know Eddie Hearn's going to swoop in and try to see what he can do because he said he's going to offer Davis a very lucrative deal. And I don't think it'll be just for 3 fights. I'm not sure if he'll give him $60 million. He may. But what we could see happening with Gervonta Davis is a bidding war. But again, I think Davis is smart enough to sit back, and if he does go with this platform, he will make sure that it's in the contract that whatever money they say they're going to pay him, first, that the money is there. 2, it's not going to be based off pay-per-view sales. They're going to, see, those pay-per-view models are in place to ensure they can pay the fighters what they want. So there's a guarantee, and then anything above and beyond that is just, okay, the cherry on top. But when you're talking about 3 fights, $60 million guarantee, so that means $20 million every fight, $20 million guarantee. That's a big damn deal. So I kind of find that hard to believe. But you just never know. Again, if the DAZN could come out here with $1 billion and do things, then why can't this platform if they got, you know, serious money? And also, you're picking up Crawford, no matter what you think about Broner, Broner's still a draw. And Gervonta Davis? It's crazy. But the thing about it, right, is Broner and Crawford and Gervonta Davis, they've never been stablemates. Broner and Davis and Earl Spence was the triad. That was that, those were the three stooges, the three little pigs over there at PBC. Now you got Crawford, Broner, and potentially Davis. So what the hell is going on with Earl Spence? Because, Broner and Davis' loyalty was to Earl Spence, wasn't it? At least it seemed. But now Broner is talking about he's going to be there supporting his stablemate. Terence Crawford is his boy. I'm like, come on, man. I don't remember. Broner was talking about how Earl Spence, what he was going to do to Terence Crawford, and how Earl Spence would beat Terence Crawford's ass. Now all of a sudden that's his boy. He's going to be at his fight. He's going to be flashy. So the man got money. Now that he got money again, he's got mouth again, and he's going to sit there and find himself in the same quagmire, man, and that's what I think. But hopefully not. But I just want to put that out there, man. I got to do more research on this damn BLK network, man. You know what I'm saying? But I do know when you start cutting the middlemen out, you start to put money back in your pocket. And with boxing, it's a whole lot of dough. So if these numbers do right with pay-per-view projections, it's like when Triller. You guys remember when Triller hit? Triller blew up. You guys blew up big time off those first couple of fights, and then it fizzled out. Lawsuits, everything, and that was the end of that shit. So, but there is a lot of money. If you have successful events, it's a lot of money. You figure $4 million, $40 at 100,000, $40 for a pay-per-view event, 100,000 sales is $4 million. Okay? So you just go ahead, man, get up to 500,000 at that price point, what you're looking at, 20 million or so. So what I'm saying is there's a lot of money in this. I'm just very curious to see how this all plays out, because we just talked about Showtime. Jake Paul getting paid all, well, at least I did a video on this. Jake Paul getting paid all that money. And as a result, the money just not being there to pay for Spence and Crawford. So everything's just kind of falling apart now. But then you see these guys come in, kind of the same situation. You go into something with Terence Crawford, give him this big set of money, pay-per-view, doesn't do what you're hoping it does. And now Broner's coming behind that. How you going to pay Broner? Okay, so I'm very interested to see if this thing goes belly up or if it takes off. Bottom line is, I'm happy that these fighters are getting paid. And for Adrien Broner, kind of hard to feel sorry for Adrien Broner because he's created his own misery. He's created his own situation. And look, plenty of crap starts to stink, okay? And Adrien Broner just stinks. But hopefully he cleaned himself up. Got the little Izzy Miyake old school cologne on. Sweetened up the area when he comes into the place. And he can go on and do something great, all right? And then Gervonta Davis, who knows what direction he's going to go. I think if Gervonta Davis really becomes a free agent and he's not messing with PBC and Al Heyman and anybody over there anymore, and Floyd Mayweather, I think a bidding war will start for Davis. And I think the $60 million for 3 fights is nothing he can get if he goes over there to the zone. I can see for 3 fights Davis getting $100 million because Davis is just that good. And you know what? He doesn't have to fight killers. He doesn't have to go in there and fight guys that are really pose a real risk. Go in there and fight in England. He could go in there and fight 3 guys at the 135-pound weight division over there in the UK. He don't have to be any big names and stuff like that, but just go fight guys from the UK. And those stadiums, the arenas will sell out. Crazy. And he'll be making that AJ money. So, good luck for these guys. Not so sure if this is going to be something that's sustainable. Some big money they're putting out. But, hey man, the greater the risk, the greater the reward, right? Also the greater the loss. So we'll see how it plays out, but I think I'm going to take time to do a video on this BLK to give everybody a little background on, who's behind it, how it started, what they're about, how they have the money to pay. Terence Crawford, you can kind of get him making, $4 or $5 million, but $10 million for one fight? Adrien Broner, you can almost understand him making, $2 million over 3 fights, $6 million. But damn, eight figures for 3 fights for Adrien Broner? Makes you wonder, man. What's the business plan? Like, what's you guys? Who's architecting this method of payment and this the means of making this happen? Like, who's behind this? Like, I need to know that. They need to put me on that, because I just wouldn't have expected Adrien Broner to come now and have someone willing to commit 8 figures for 3 fights for Broner. So I think it's necessary to do some research. At the same time, maybe it's just a planning factor. Hey, look, the plan is to try to get you around 8 figures based on these things. But that's just not how it was conveyed in the interview. It was conveyed like, this is what's contracted, this is what I'm getting. I'm no longer worth $13. Mama, I made it, okay? But we'll see how it plays out, man. That being said, y'all keep cool. Really curious about this Gervonta Davis $60 million 3 fights. Like, that is just crazy. And I'm telling you right now, over there at Showtime and Mayweather and those guys, I think Davis is making good money, but I don't think he can get no guarantee for 3 fights for $60 million. Only place he can go that I know that does those kind of deals, and I think he can actually get $100 million if he goes over to Eddie Hearn and DAZN. I think they would give him $100 million for 3 fights. Maybe for 4, he may be able to get it for 3. And if they fight him in the UK, Eddie Hearn knows he'll make a killing. They take him over to Saudi Arabia, Eddie Hearn knows he'll make a killing. And I think that Gervonta Davis needs to do that. Go on out there, expand your horizons, see something different. Do it for 3, 4 fights, man. Make yourself a gazillion dollars. And then come back over and do whatever. They're always going to work with him because it's business. It ain't personal. Just like when they're taking, the middleman is taking all that money out of Gervonta Davis's checks. You know what I'm saying? Cut that guy out and go out there and get real money. So we'll see what happens, man. But I think Leonard Ellerbe will jump off a bridge if Gervonta Davis calls it quits, especially if he goes at Eddie Hearn. Oh my God. Somebody better be looking out for Leonard Ellerbe, because Leonard Ellerbe will jump off a damn bridge. But that being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans. Shout out to everybody from all 7 continents. More to come on this BLK thing, man. You know, we just got to understand what's going on. Who the hell is Dez? And just the relationship, the funding behind it. Like, more needs to come out on them, because now they got our attention. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.